Greetings, this is I, Tentis Dracovin, your Lord and Emperor, here at the Dracovin Empire, and welcome once more. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing fine. I'm ready to talk about something from Golarion, the Pathfinder world today. Got another exciting topic, another ancestry to dive into today, the Wyrwood. So, if you're ready, willing to join me, let's go. There's one thing first, of course, is the normal shout-outs to, wherever you are, please give the support you can. If you're joining me on Twitch or over on YouTube, hey, for you guys on YouTube, please appease the algorithm, like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. Comment. Have anybody played a Wyrwood or dealt with them too? Because they're interesting because they are common in an area of the world that's very uncommon to use. Let's talk about it. Let's dive into Wyrwood. So the best place to start, of course, is where I normally start, and if this zooms me to the proper spot anyway, with, of course, books to talk about. Because, hey, a bunch of books will give you a lot of information, and I can tell you the books that have them. They originally were in Bestiary 4. Hey, they were originally a monster, but they were a monster with playable stats. Really did a lot of them. Inner Sea Races defines them with their rarity and such like that, and Heroes of Golarion deals with them a bit more. So really, that's all the books we have for them right now. And so let's talk about them. And this is really, I have only a couple of each, but I'll kind of dive into this here. What are the Wyrwood? Well, as you can see there, they are kind of plant-like, but they aren't plants. They're constructs. They're magical, and their intelligence, they resemble humanoids. And they were created as servants and warriors by a group of wizards a very long time ago. Now, they did rebel against their masters and destroy them. But they did manage to learn how to create more of their own kind. So that's an important part about it, that they aren't a species that's doomed to die out like so many other strange creatures that were created through magical means. No, they learned how to create more of themselves, at very least, so they aren't going to go extinct necessarily. Now, it is important to note that they are a very populous race, or ancestry, on the continent of Arcadia, so you can find a lot of them there, interestingly enough. So if you would look at one, they're small, agile wooden constructs powered by an Aeon Stone heart. If you're unsure what an Aeon Stone is, it's the Pathfinder version of an Ion Stone. And a little different, but similar in concept. Some Wyrwoods are built from rare materials like rubble or divine relics, and in recent years many have integrated organic components into themselves, making them closer to organic creatures rather than constructs. Again, things like wood being alive and stuff like that, you can see the various little twigs and stuff. They're integrating stuff into themselves to make them alive. That's a more standard one that doesn't have them. So we do know who crafted them, in a way. Azlantis. A cabal of Azlanti wizards basically created the Wyrwoods to be nimble, skilled, intelligent magical constructs, servants. More than likely, we can assume they created them on Arcadia, originally, probably away from the prying eye of the rest of the Azlanti Empire, or something like that. It did backfire, though. Again, the Wyrwoods began to question why they were involved with the intrigues of their masters. They were Azlanti wizards, and the Azlanti government was full of intrigue and double-crossing, and it's one of the reasons Thassalon exists, because a bunch of wizards from there basically were like, screw you guys, we're making our own nation. And basically when these cabal of wizards forced them to fight on their behalf, an interesting call, it took it a little too far, and the Wyrwoods repelled. They did steal the wizards' notes on basically how to create more of them, and fled to Arcadia. So they were on Azlanti before the fall of it. So they do they do mention that in the information. So that was just me not noticing that originally. I speculate before I remember everything. Anyway, so yeah, they fled Azlanti before its fall to Arcadia, where they've made that their homeland, effectively. They've taken the time to make it their home. And it's one of those interesting things, maybe they did kill their masters that they rebelled against and ran, but anybody that would have followed them or had a connection to them is gone. The Azlanti continent, more even than just the Empire, was annihilated in Earthfall. So now the Wyrwood, though with a species long line memory of kind of knowing where they came from originally, they are a descendant of Azlanti. still, nonetheless, they are a one that is persecuted. Probably doesn't have no love lost from that, interestingly enough. So, they are a little alien when it comes to other ancestries, for sure. Their physiology is very different. They are constructs. And most Wyrwoods are very coldly rational. The majority of them don't understand emotions or empathy. And a rare few still view them as mere tools. That, having those things, emotions, empathy, are tools. So, yeah. Majority of them are just kind of cold and rational. There's a few that view, empathy and emotions very negatively. And you probably have a few that do actually understand it. It's that kind of middle ground of very probably logical Vulcan, I would say. So it's like Vulcan, robotic, kind of things like that. Just comparing to Star Trek or something like that. So in order to ensure the survival of their species, which they put above everything else, many of them are actually heavily xenophobic is the other thing, too. So it's sort of like you can see that they're xenophobic, cold, calculating, and this can not really earn you connections with a lot of people. The rationality and emotionality. And all of them do know how to create some of their own conscience. Keep that in mind. The secret is within all of them. So they never do reveal the secrets of that reproduction to any other creature. That is a secret that each of them keeps within them. Most become things like wizards or rogues. There are some religious ones that do follow lawful deities because their stricter codes are easier to follow to the letter. Again, it's the fact that it's a rationality when they go into deities and divine things that makes them drawn toward lawful ones, whether they're lawful or not themselves. You could be one step away. Just keep that in mind. And alignments are kind of different now with the core stuff, which we don't have second edition version of these. Also, we have the stats for first edition and both as a species monster. So again, we've talked about how most of them are in Arcadia. And in Arcadia, they prefer the isolation that they can grant in areas of it. So it's the fact that not only are they in Arcadia, a continent that is relatively disconnected from the rest of the world, known about, partially explored, got some settlements from the, inner sea region over there, a few here and there. You can travel there, you can meet people. Not an easy journey, possible to do. But then again, it's the sheer fact that there's a lot of Arcadia. The entire continent, which is just very inaccessible, hard to know, you don't know who's there, so they have just a separation. It doesn't mean that you can't find some of them in the Inner Sea region or elsewhere in Golarion. It is rare, though, because they do attract unwanted attention. They are a construct ancestry. And construct ancestries, especially intelligent ones, very intelligent ones, are very rare. Ambassadors to the Clockwork Cathedral in Absalom only stayed briefly before departing, and two of them actually narrowly escaped Nyx when the Archlord's agents tried to vivisect them. So they don't get really good warm welcomes where they go either. So it's another thing that drives them kind of away from everybody else just a little bit, unfortunately. So there you go. That's basically what we know about Wyrwood. And it's not to say that we don't have, a good picture of them with the details I gave. We do. It's just the sheer fact that we don't have a super dive into what their society is, other than a society of intelligent constructs that maybe are exploring life. I think that's the thing, because we are seeing Wyrwoods evolve into something new in this new age. Is this something that's perhaps happening over their many millennia of existence as a ancestry? Possible. And again, if we are doing a game in Arcadia, I'd say it would be pretty common to be a Wyrwood. If we're doing one anywhere else in Golarion, very rare. But the fact that they use special materials when building themselves, they integrate organic components, more things that, it's more than just, because wood is an organic component, but wood itself traditionally is dead plant matter and living plant matter, bits of living wood integrating themselves, living stuff that makes themselves more organic, makes themselves more different, and more of them that are exploring what it means to have, emotions and empathy. Granted, not all of them are reading it the same way. Some are just, again, some see it as tools, others are beginning to understand it. This is an evolution of an ancestry that has existed, and it's been slow because of the alien nature of them, of the persecution and the disconnection. The Golarion world, as we see it as of the Age of Lost Omens, is one that is beginning to become more and more open. It is a more explored, open world. There was less unknown places in the world. The sense of adventure has grown exponentially as the sense of danger has since the death of Eridan. And this sense of adventure might also be affecting the Wyrwood. Maybe indirectly. But they, even being a xenophobic people, still interact with their neighbors, people nearby, and things like that. And changes that spread along those things are maybe getting into their culture more and more. It's one of the reasons I think it would be very interesting to explore them in 2nd edition a little bit more, because maybe we can see, and honestly, Arcadia, love a book on Arcadia, we can see the evolution of them into a being that's much more than what they are. They were born to a group of wizards, creating them through magic. They gained a mind. They gained a soul. And maybe now, in this new age, they can gain a heart. And become... Not that they need it, but it could be that they would become part of the Golarion world a lot more. And judging that there are so many of them on Arcadia, if Arcadia opens up more, if the Arcadia becomes much more part of those regions and stuff like that, connected with the rest of the world, they might need that. Because that connection might be important. I don't know. It's what I say with a lot of ancestries. There are points for growth for them, for developing into beings that are empathetic, connected with the rest of the world. It's one of those things that we can see with a lot of society and global populations. It tends to be more and more connections between them exist the more you can. And, whether for good or bad. And sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad. The Wyrwood, if they can get themselves to the right spot, when that global connection, with that connection to the rest of Golarion happens deeply, hopefully they can be in the right spot. And I'll leave it there. I'm kind of rambling on a little bit about some global Golarion politics and societal evolutions, which is a very interesting thing to kind of see and understand. I hope you enjoyed all this today. If you want to check out any more of my stuff, everything goes up on YouTube. I push stream it, all the videos. These videos, I record them live on Twitch if you want to check me out live. If you don't, hey, that's fine. You can always just stop over by any of the other YouTube videos. So just remember to give all those special things. My live times are usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Tuesdays being the Pathfinder day. And the videos go up usually a day or two after that, up on YouTube, depending on the schedule and, how much stuff I get behind on putting up. Cough. Check out Crimson Queen, my Pathfinder 1st Edition game live play on Wednesdays at 9, or later on YouTube again, and discussing tabletop the same day. That's on Saturdays at 6. Remember to check out all my social media and all the other things to help support me. Alright, I'm going to get going. Thank you all for once again joining me. I hope you enjoyed diving deep and learning about the Wyrwood. Until next time we talk about another ancestry, more lore, or anything about Golarion, or anything else tabletop, I bid all of you a deep and wonderful farewell.